Your brain has a rule. Use it or lose it, not as a metaphor, as a biological fact. The moment you stop challenging yourself, the moment routine replaces growth, your brain begins to physically shrink. Connections weaken, pathways thin. Neurons that aren't used die. And here is the part nobody tells you. Here is the first thing. Your brain is not a fixed organ. It is alive in the most literal sense. Every day it is either growing or shrinking. There is no maintenance mode. No neutral, no staying the same. Neuroscientist Michael Merzenich at UCSF spent decades proving this. The brain responds to challenge like a muscle responds to exercise. Push it, it grows. Ignore it, it atrophies. Every new skill you learn physically adds neural connections. Every new language, instrument, problem, idea leaves a measurable mark on your brain structure. Not metaphorically, physically. Here is the second thing. Routine is the enemy, not comfort. Not rest. Routine. When your brain knows exactly what is coming next, it stops paying attention. It switches to autopilot. Neuroscientist David Eagleman at Stanford calls this the brain on autopilot. When everything is predictable, time speeds up. Experience flattens. Days start to blur into each other. You know that feeling, where a whole year passed and you can barely remember it? That is your brain conserving energy, because nothing was new enough to record. Nothing was challenging enough to remember. The brain only builds memories around novelty, around surprise, around the moments that didn't go exactly as expected. A life without growth is a life the brain doesn't bother remembering. Here is the third thing. Boredom is not the problem. Stagnation is. There is a difference. Boredom is temporary, a moment of emptiness between challenges. Stagnation is what happens when you stop seeking challenges altogether. When you choose the same job, the same routine, the same conversations. Not because they fulfill you, but because they are safe. Research from the University of Edinburgh followed thousands of people across their lifetimes. The single strongest predictor of cognitive decline was not age, was not genetics, was not diet, it was the absence of new learning. People who kept learning new things, regardless of age, showed dramatically slower cognitive decline. The brain does not care how old you are, it only cares whether you are still asking it to grow. Here is the fourth thing, and this one is personal. The version of you that stops growing is not just losing brain cells, it is losing the ability to feel things fully. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change, is also the brain's ability to feel new emotions, to experience genuine surprise, to feel the specific kind of alive that only comes from doing something you have never done before. When you stop growing, the emotional range narrows, not dramatically, not all at once. Slowly, days feel shorter, colors feel slightly less vivid. Music doesn't hit the same way it used to. You are not depressed. You are just less present. Less alive. Because the brain that isn't growing is a brain that is starting to say goodbye. The good news, and there is good news, is that this is reversible. At almost any age. At almost any stage. One new skill. One unfamiliar challenge. One conversation with someone who thinks differently than you do. One book in a subject you know nothing about. That is all it takes to start the process again. The brain does not need a dramatic transformation. It needs novelty. It needs the signal that there is still something new to learn. That the world is still larger than what you already know. You were not built to stay still. You were built to keep becoming. The moment you stop is the moment your brain starts counting down. Start again. Right now. There is still time.